Welcome back to Sports Corner. I'm here with a true Wyoming legend, Frank Gambino.
Me?
Frank, don't look around. I'm talking about you. Frank Gambino, his 33rd year covering sports in Wyoming of WyoPreps.com. And Frank, we're here because the high school football season is about to start. On Friday, we have 4A football, their first games. So who do you see as far as contenders there?
Well, normally, Carmine, in 4A, it's so top-heavy. I mean, you have four good teams, and then there's everyone else. You know, here's for Natrona. I mean, they won the state championship last year, and they lost a lot of guys on the line of scrimmage. You know, Trayvon Smith was one guy, Yahav Shraver, Chase Brocktonbaugh on defense. So they kind of own the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, which made them the number one offense and number one defense in Class 4A. That's basically how they did that. So and then you could ask a guy like Dante Wallace, who he ran for over 1,800 yards last year. He'd probably be thanking those guys on the offensive line too. So that's what Natrona's MO is that they put big guys up front and groom them from the first game until the last game, and they keep making improvement. They are going to be really, really tough, I think. And they've also got, Jonathan True is going to be back on defense. Harrison Tarver, we saw him with American Legion Baseball. He's a these are good athletes, and their numbers are so big, in terms of participation, that they just seem to just fill in spots. Now, speaking of Natrona, they played Sheridan for the 4A championship, and Sheridan's going to have a slightly different look. Parker Christensen was the Gatorade Player of the Year, and he's gone now down to UW, so what do they do next? Well, Sheridan's in a position where their numbers are good, so they kind of more or less reload as opposed to rebuild. Garrett Kuhn is a stud on both sides of the ball. They have returning quarterback in Jacob Boynt. They're going to be tough too. I think the other team in 4A that a lot of people should watch is Thunder Basin, because they have a really good quarterback in Mason Hamilton. I mean, this guy threw for well over 2,500 yards. He had 31 touchdowns and 6 picks. He's got a great receiver in Blaine Allen. Those two are not the only guys on the team, but they are going to make Thunder Basin a very, very tough opponent. So there's your top three. Now, that fourth team, it could be Cheyenne East. They lost a lot of folks. It could be Kelly Walsh. I mean, they have a new coach in Aaron McKelkey. It's going to be a whole new culture, a whole new way of doing business. Rock Springs with a new coach in Mark Lenhart. They're going to know a new way of doing business. Then you got Laramie and Cheyenne South and Evanston. So I think still you'd like to get in that top four to get a home playoff game, but 4A is still going to be a little bit top-heavy. Those top three teams, top four teams are certainly going to be better than 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And you were mentioning Dante Wallace in Natrona County, 23 touchdowns last year to lead the state in 4A and 151 rushing yards per game, second in the state. So he's going to be a premier player, a premier running back for any class. But who are some of the guys, do you think, other than who you mentioned, who we should focus on?
I think, for Cheyenne East, Graydon Buell is going to be back as their quarterback. He originally started his career in Rock Springs. But you know what, when you talk about Dante Wallace, I mean, his numbers would be a lot bigger maybe if he would be in the whole game. I mean, sometimes Natrona's going to roll teams, and they're like, all right, everyone, you're done, and we're going to put some other guys in and get some depth. I think more than anything else, no matter what classification you're talking about, stay healthy. Stay healthy.
Got to stay healthy the whole season. We saw that decimate Kelly Walsh last year.
Absolutely.
So hopefully everybody stays healthy, especially in high school. So now, Frank, let's move to 3A. We saw Star Valley win the state title their third in 4 years over Torrington this year. Do you see the Braves winning 4 out of 5?
They can do it again, because their approach is very, very simple. It's like, we're going this way on offense. We're going directly to you. There's no flash to this whole deal. They run tackle to tackle, and the closer they get to the goal line, the better they are, it seems like. I mean, they ran the ball to the max. They had R.J. Kazir, and this year they lost Wyatt Moore. He was the speed guy, but they really didn't. They used him for show, kind of, and everything else was power football. They just beat teams up, physically. The teams like Douglas and Torrington, they just grinded them. I think they can do that easily again. They got, Chase Merrill coming back, the Parker Merritt. These are two really good football players. I would imagine if Star Valley doesn't win, it'll be a surprise. Although I think the other team too it'll be very good out in the West is Jackson, because their running back was tremendous. Jaden Cox, what did he have?
He had like 220 yards a game.
A game, and over 200, over 2,000 yards for the season. One guy can make a big difference there, and they were tough. So I think Jackson, Star Valley. Douglas on the East is going to. They're well coached with Jay Rhodes, and they're always going to find the right guys to make plays. You know, Torrington has a new coach in Russell Steinmetz. He's a Kelly Walsh guy, so they're going to go through a whole new scenario. But I think on the 3A end of it, maybe it's going to be a little bit. You know, Star Valley is going to be the team to beat. Jackson right behind them, and then everyone else is going to kind of fall in line. Cody's going to, you know, with some good talent too. They got a bunch of All-State returning players. They're going to be right in that mix also for a 2nd seed, a 3rd seed, and a 4th seed.
Well, Frank, thanks for coming in.
You betcha.
Appreciate it. A Wyoming legend, Frank Gambino. 4A football starts on Friday, and he'll be back next week to preview 2A, 1A, and 1A 6-man. We'll be right back with some more Sports Corner in just a moment.